Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 2nd of October. So first things first, let's have a look at the news events which might cause an impact to currency movement. We're starting off today, well, we've got some bank holidays going in Australia and Canada, where the Australian dollar's bank holidays are not got long left now. Chinese bank holiday, Canadian bank holiday. Chinese holiday, I mean, there's fewer traders out there, so it just reduces the Asian session volumes somewhat. Canadian bank holiday this afternoon, well, it'll affect the afternoon's trading more so than anything else, but it's not going to be a biggie. But aside of that, then we've got the ISM manufacturing PMI. Last time I said, this won't make any difference to the markets, and what did it do? It gave a big blip, so we'll just watch out for that. We've got Powell speaking, but it's a fireside chat, effectively. So due to it's a round table chat, where they discuss with workers, etc., community leaders. Current state of play, I can't see that causing any surprises there, and we've got an FOMC speaker then at also at 4 o'clock. I'm just having a look through my other system. 4 o'clock we've got Harker speaking as well, but he's most likely, I've got that one on there, that could be with in fact the same meeting. It's round table, so it's the same meeting as Powell there. We've got Fed Barr speaking at 6, and then at 6:30 we've got Fed Williams speaking. So there's a few speakers, whether they're at the same event, this doesn't say. Anyway, so there is, of course, there is some movement there, or potential movement there, but we do have non-farms later in the week, so that'll be one of the key things. And the other one is the Reserve Bank of New Zealand's the first one of the new cycle of interest rate changes, or left alone most likely. Right, let's look at the markets. We'll start off looking at euro dollar as ever, and well, big picture, solid downtrend. Thursday, Friday saw us pushing up there at the end of last week, but Friday wasn't convincing. It pushed through. I said about this, whether it would rock and roll. It's nothing is clear yet. Now, what would change things here? Well, or what would see a continuation is a break of Friday's highs there. The highs on Friday would be key. Or if we start seeing a sell-off from this weekly pivot, it could just be a bit of a continuation to the downside. So need it to show its hand a little bit first. Now we could just run on a little bit further than where we are at the moment. We're into the weekly pivot. The daily pivots are just slightly above, so just watch this. But really waiting to see if we break these lows, or get a bit more of a continuation, and maybe that we'll be able to do something today at some stage. But I'm really not liking trading against this downward trend, so a bit of patience needed. Okay, pound dollar, similar story, so I won't go into great detail, but you can, this morning it sort of gapped down a little bit on the open, and pushing up a little bit at the moment into its weeklies, and well, not that far away from its daily now. So it's what happens post the daily. If the daily gets hit, what happens past that? I never trust these early movements. They're often a bit fake, in the words of old DT. Look at Donald Trump, that is for you. Okay, so the US dollar yen, well, that didn't stay down for long. The dollar there recovered nicely off its 4-hourly 50 as it happens, but that's been tested many a time. But anyway, it's that region. I seem to remember it. It's down into its S3. What for there? Well, one would expect a continuation at some stage. So that's really what I'm looking at. But got to tread carefully with this. It can be quite choppy first thing in the morning, but we'll see how it develops. If the other markets, if the euro starts pushing up big white time, and the pound, well, this might just get a bit more of a retrace. I'm just very wary on the yen. Aussie dollar's got into itself on the dailies into somewhat of a chop at the moment. It's still a descending sort of channel that it appears to be in at the moment, and it's bang in the middle of it with little in the way of clue of where it wants to go next. So we'll leave that alone. US dollar CAD. Now the CAD stopped me at break even on my short. I was sitting there almost feeling quite happy about the fact that that could be running off further south, and well, it didn't stay that way. We saw the turn sort of late morning. It started coming, well, 11 o'clock there, it started turning around solidly into its daily S3 there, and it bounced, and that was that. Where to today? Well, we could get back towards its daily pivot if these other currencies are strengthening as well. We could see the CAD coming back towards that picture. Risk reward on some sort of trade now wouldn't be great. I'm still wondering, bigger picture, if we'll have a rollover, but it looks less likely with this big bullish engulfing candle. Looks like a bit more of a continuation. New Zealand dollar, well, very similar to the Aussie really. It's quite choppy and don't really want to be playing with that at the moment. So it's thin on the ground first thing this morning as I'm looking, but that doesn't mean to say things won't develop. I do of course prefer it when it's all sort of setting up and you've got options, but this is just what we have to, it's what we spend time in the trading room, is going through time and time again, just running through the markets and see what's developing. And hopefully this morning's session was give us something, at least something a little bit more to look forward to, or through to, in the afternoon. Very choppy on the euro yen here. It's been it's just been like that for a period now, for a month actually. Most of September it just chopped, horrible. Euro pound, just not really doing too much either. More biased towards the upside, but not interested in trading that. Likes the Euro Aussie, and well, this is not far away from its new monthly pivot. It would be nice to see what reaction, if any, we get to that. Got the weekly pivot, sorry, let's see, new quarterly pivot sitting up there as well. So we've got a few things to watch out for in terms of potential resistance. Just looking, yeah, of course we've got the new quarterlies kicking in. And I was looking at that, thinking it's a monthly pivot. It's just come back again. We've got a bit of overlap. We may have a bit of overlap on that, or maybe the quarters is not showing on here at the moment. They're not. So okay, monthly pivot there. There's also the quarterly pivot. We're above the weekly pivot at the moment, so erring a little more bullish here on the Euro Aussie. However, sold off so far, well, last hour or so it's sold off, but it's well ahead. I'm just looking, higher lows kicking through there. It's already sort of gone, most of the potential is lost on that. EURCAD, saw the EURCAD on Friday, absolutely charged. Now this is much more in a possible game-changing, structural change in movement. We've had the higher low, clear higher low coming through here. On the 4 hour it's broken its trend line, it's above its 50. We'll see. I'd almost prefer to see this bouncing off its weekly pivot there. So we'll see how things develop. Probably some divergence on the hourlies here. Break of the lows between those two highs triggers the divergence move and may see it roll further. So on the cusp of things here at the moment. Okay, so obviously from what I'm looking through here, there's nothing that's immediate for me. So it's a patience game, and you really have to sit there patiently. Just looking at the pound CAD, very similar picture, and pound Aussie, similar picture to dollar Aussie. So similar pictures here. Just have to be patient. Things will come along, maybe not this morning, or maybe later morning or afternoon. Just looking through some of the regulars here that move through the Aussie CAD. Well, so that had a fantastic move last week, Thursday into Friday. Started coming better, but did push earlier, and it has slowed down here. Yeah, so patience game this morning. I should be going through these thoroughly in the room in a short while, but that's where we are for them at the moment. It's a quick look at gold, oil, and a few of the indices. So that's answered that one on gold, isn't it? Gold's weird, isn't it? Everything else recovering a bit, gold not having the legs. It really has run out here and looking soft. Just nothing much to add on that. In fact, I'm going to have a quick look at silver, because sometimes silver sneakily appears into something, and where it has broken some key areas here. I'm just looking. I need to look out at the bigger picture here and see what's happening. So it is breaking down. Previously I left it when it was around about the $18 mark, but I could be a buyer when if it was to get back down that way, but at the moment maybe just wishful thinking it's going to get back down that way. For now it's looking on the bearish side if you're trading it though. Oil, let's have a look. Start off with a bit of Brent on here. Well, actually Western Texas is what I tend to look at slightly more. I'll catch you in a moment. Lower highs coming through. Lower highs coming through, just running into its daily pivot there, but nothing I'll do at the moment. So, but still, so I'm saying lower highs is on the 4-hourly. It's looking messy, but the dailies is still pretty solid. Don't really want to go against that. I'm really looking for a support area which I could buy from. Right, equity markets, just very briefly. S&Ps. Daily wise, well, yeah, Friday it ended up back heading south a little bit. Could yet get up to the new new monthly pivot. It's sitting there. It's not far away. It could be a draw. I said last week that these markets might turn around. I'll have a look at do my analysis on this morning and have a look at what how the sentiment's been running. But it has been gradually getting a little bit more bullish from the big money, even though the markets have been running down. But that's not a timing tool by any means. They got deep old pockets, but we could start seeing a move up there. At the moment I'd be looking at a move into that monthly pivot and watching the reaction to see if it rolled over though technically. Dow Jones a little bit more fickle. Bearish engulfing, looking a bit ugly, still bearish looking, these markets, and the Nasdaq technically still bearish as well. Again, could run into its monthly pivot there. It's so close to it. Got a 70% chance of catching them. Just looking, new quarterly pivot sits above there as well. Could be a draw. So we've got some draws to the upside on those markets. Okay, near at home then, the DAX. So DAX, the monthly pivot, not too far away here either. Bit more flaggy looking on the 4-hourly here. A breakdown below the new weekly pivot could give us some further downside. It's looking a bit ugly on the short-term time frame here. So got this movement coming across here, but I'll really be, as I say, looking for the breakdown of the pivot there. See what materializes this morning, but that would be on for more short side. Right, and finally the FTSE. Similar picture here really. It's just dancing around, very very choppy. Coming back to dailies there, it tried its best on Friday, ended up down. Ball flag arguably on the dailies there, but very very messy on the 4-hourlies last week. Real choppy old week, 2 weeks in a row here, very choppy. Okay, gonna leave it there. I'll catch you later tomorrow on YouTube, and otherwise I'll speak to the rest of you in a moment.